Here we go, part 2, defensive backs in our draft series. This is, of course, DC Fanatic. Chip it in here, DallasCowboysShow.com and also DCFanatic.com. This will be running on both sites. Let's go. Here's the guys that the Cowboys would love to be there at number 27, but there's no hope. Eric Berry, Tennessee, safety, gone. Best safety in the draft. Should be gone in the top 10. Joe Hayden, cornerback from Florida. Ran well at the Pro Day. Will be back in the top 15. He's supposedly the best cornerback out there, although I disagree. Earl Thomas. I know some people see him at number 27 on some of these mock drafts of the Cowboys. I don't see how he's going to make it there. I don't see how the top 20 teams don't see this kid as a great safety who can also play cornerback and man-to-man on some wide receivers. Why would they let him go? There's too many teams that need a guy like that. So Earl Thomas from Texas, unless the Cowboys make some kind of miraculous trade up, which everybody would love to see, he's going to be gone before number 27. Fourth guy is Kyle Wilson, cornerback from Boise State. He's too hot right now. He had great showings at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine. He's just way too hot right now. Kyle Wilson will be gone long before number 27. All right, so let's go to good fits for the Cowboys. I think a great fit for them would be Nate Allen, South Florida. Free safety, can cover. That's what the Cowboys need right now. They need a guy that's a little bit versatile that can switch back and forth from free safety to strong safety. You know, this notion that those two positions are quite different in the NFL, that's 10 years ago. That's not today. So if the Cowboys, they see him in there at number 27, that's a choice they have to make. You know, maybe between some offensive linemen who may have slipped, some left tackle candidates. That's a choice they would have to make, but I think Nate Allen will be a good fit for the Cowboys. Another good fit, these two guys are going to be in the second round, though, would be Morgan Burnett from Georgia Tech. You know, he's the same type of player as Nate Allen, just not as good, I don't think. You know, and that's what the scouts say. Another kid is Major Wright from Florida. Another kid, just like Morgan Burnett, second round. I mean, the Cowboys might have to even move up in the second round a bit to get these guys. But they're second round candidates. If they're there at the number 27 spot, I'm not too sure. That might be a reach for those two guys. Another kid that, is going to be there, he'll be there in the second round, but I would like to get him in the third if we could, would be Darryl Stuckey. He's kind of a kid that's moving up. He doesn't, he played at Kansas. He's a fast kid. He's got the size, 6'2", 205. He's not going to be a big name out there, but if the Cowboys wind up getting him in the third round, that would be a good opportunity for them. That would be a good opportunity for them. All right, here's some guys that I know they're going to be, mentioned out there, but I just really don't see them as being a good fit for the Cowboys, and maybe just me personally, I hope the Cowboys don't draft him. First off the board is Taylor Mays. You know why? What is Taylor Mays? He's a safety. Some people say he could be a linebacker. Some people say sometimes he's just a big hitter. He just wants to go for the big hit. Do these things sound familiar to you? Do these things sound familiar to you? If there's any possible way he could possibly be the next Roy Williams, why would the Cowboys want anything to do with him? Let some other team, be the hero here. I'm still on the line from, Brian Broaddus told me about this. What Ron Wolf from the Packers used to say. Let some other team be the hero out there and go take Taylor Mays and let, him be the next great thing. The Cowboys right now don't need to be taking chances, and that's a guy you're having to take a chance on. Another kid, Chad Jones, same type of guy. Bigger, slower, maybe an in-the-box safety, not as versatile. I don't want him. I've seen what that does for the Cowboys defense. I just don't need it. Another kid, Rashad Jones, possibly there in the third round. I'm not hating on the kid. I don't really think, he showed anything at Georgia. But, if there's other bodies there in the third round that could help the Cowboys, I'd rather go for those guys. Larry Asante from Nebraska. No. He's just a big hitter. He's just a big kid. I didn't see him do anything that special at Nebraska, even though they had a good defense. I just don't see Larry Asante doing anything that well. Another kid that everybody's talking about because he has a name is Myron Rolle. Now, some people are like, the Cowboys should draft him in the second round or the first round. Myron Rolle is a fifth-round guy. He wasn't a great player at Florida State. He just wasn't a great player. So why? Because he's on ESPN all the time? Because he's a scholar athlete, you want to draft him? No. He'll be there in the later rounds. If the Cowboys get him, whatever. He's a reach. He's not going to come in here. He's not going to push anybody for any jobs. Here's a guy, as far as the safeties go, that I want nothing to do with it because I'm telling you right now, he is the next Roy Williams, but he's not even as talented. That's Cam Chancellor from Virginia Tech. Forget about it. If the Cowboys draft him, I will be out of my mind crazy. All right, here we get to some cornerbacks. Devin McCourty. If the Cowboys can somehow find a way to get him in round 2, because he's really pushing the draft boards. He's just not as good as Hayden and Kyle Wilson. But if the Cowboys have to maybe move back a little bit from that first-round draft pick at number 27, if they trade back and get in the early second round too and they take Devin McCourty, I would be okay with that. Because they'd pick up an extra draft pick and they'd get a good cornerback that can come in, help out, be the fourth cornerback, and replace Terrence Newman sometime in the future. Where Scandrick does that or whatever. You always need to have 4 good cornerbacks. Another kid that I wouldn't be crazy, if they drafted would be Chris Cook. I know he had a bad pro day, but he's a good player. Maybe it's the professionalism. Maybe he didn't show up to his pro day in shape. That's a little bit of a red flag, but you got to know that he was a good player. He had a good, combine. It's one of those iffy ones. He's definitely a second rounder, though. He's not a guy, and maybe you just stay at your pick in the second round and go after him. Another kid like that, stay at your pick in the third round will be Patrick Robinson from Florida State. These are guys that, you just in your third round, these guys slip to you, you take them. That's Patrick Robinson from Florida State. Brandon Gee from Wake Forest. Dominic Franks from Oklahoma. Parrish Cox from Oklahoma State. Another kid is Kevin Thomas from USC. He's a third rounder. He's pretty fast, though. And there's another kid he's a kid, Javier Arenas. Now, I wasn't too impressed with him as far as what he did at cornerback. He's coming from Alabama. He comes from a really good defense. But the thing about him is he is a great return guy. He can return kicks and punts. One of the best in the nation. So if the Cowboys were able to get him, even if they went in the second round to get him, and they had to go up, where they are in the second round to draft him, I wouldn't hate it because right away he's going to come in and take over that job. Another kid, Jefferson, Fresno State. He lit it up at the combine. That puts him on the radar for everybody. He's rising fast. He's also a kick returner. He's got good size, 6 foot, 193. He's a kid, played at a small school, so he doesn't get a lot of press. But he's a kid that's on there. We'll wrap it up here. One kid that I want nothing to do with. I don't want to see him. I don't care if he's 5th, 6th, whatever round. I hate to throw a kid out there on the bus, but you got to get one. Is Sidquan Thompson from Cal. Now here's the deal. He's short and he's slow. In the NFL, you come across wide receivers, they're all big and fast. So why would I want a short, slow guy trying to cover every receiver, even if it's my 5th guy that's big and pretty fast? It's not a match. It's just not a match. I don't want to see Sidquan Thompson anywhere near the Dallas Cowboys. All right, folks, we'll be back next week. So far, we did the offensive linemen. Now we've done the defensive backs. Next week, we are going to hit defensive linemen. Defensive lineman is the choice for next week. Be back next Wednesday or Thursday with a new video. Peace.